Hello, my name is Jimmy and welcome to the 2020 Genesis G70. Genesis created the G70 to compete with the F30 generation 3 Series BMW, which was replaced by the G20 generation in 2019. So, in 2020, is the G70 still comparable? Well, let's find out. Looks-wise, the G70 is quite elegant and the grille is, well, very intricate. The dark chrome on the sport model really sets off a better sporty vibe than the traditional blacked out parts that other manufacturers generally use. I also like the details within the headlights. Take a look at these copper accents. I only wish there was a little bit more of this around the rest of the vehicle. The dark chrome accents can be seen on the side vents, window surrounds, and even on the door handles. And around back, we got dual exhaust, LED taillights to really finish off that exterior look. As looks are subjective, I'll leave that up to you to decide exactly, well, how you feel about the G70 in total. For those who need a sedan to really carry their stuff, the trunk in the G70 is a little bit small at 10.5 cubic feet. It's actually the same in the rear seats as well. They are quite tight. I'm 5'11" and I don't fit all that well in here. Headroom and legroom is a little bit limited, but it is roomier than some of its competitors. What's nice is there are heated rear seats for those occupants that can fit back here. As for the front seats, that's really where you want to be. The cabin itself is very well appointed, and we got leather, soft touch materials all over. The only thing that's a little bit out of place is, well, the infotainment system itself. As it's the same one that's used in other Hyundai and Kia products, it just feels a little bit out of place. If you haven't been in a late model Hyundai or Kia product, then it shouldn't bother you all that much. However, it certainly won't feel great when the owner of a Kia Rio says, hey, that's the same as mine. A redeeming factor is, well, it's actually a good system itself. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a really good navigation system. The interface is also easy to use, and there's a row of physical buttons right below for easy access. It's simple and it works. Just as simple is, well, the climate control. 3 rotary dials that control your temperature, fan, and more. Nothing really here is out of place. Below that, we have a Qi wireless charger that does remind you when you're getting in and out of the car with the phone still attached. And there's still a USB port for you to plug in your device so you can use, well, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. One thing to note, these seats are very nice. There's adjustable lumbar support, there's adjustable thigh cushion, as well as inflatable bladders to really hold you into the vehicle. Unfortunately, this is only on the driver's side. The passenger does not get those luxury touches. In front of the driver, we have a pretty traditional gauge cluster and a digital screen in the center that shows you how much torque the car is producing, your lap times, and a lot more. It's a pretty decent layout. However, while other manufacturers are going with that full digital screen, and Genesis actually has this too, in Korea you can get the G70 with a full digital gauge cluster. Unfortunately, we just don't get that here in North America. Unlike many German rivals, Genesis decided to go with the in-house 8-speed automatic rather than a ZF unit. Shifts aren't as crisp and smooth, but for the average buyer, you probably won't notice unless you drive them back to back. Under the hood of the G70, we have 2 engine options, either a 2-liter turbocharged 4 or a 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6. In the US, you can pick either a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive for either engine, while in Canada, the V6 only comes with all-wheel drive. Something uniquely different about Genesis is, well, they still give you an option to pair the 2-liter with a 6-speed manual while opting for the rear-wheel drive. And there's even a limited slip diff. Even BMW, famed for being the ultimate driving machine, has ditched the manual for the 3 Series. Genesis still allows you to roll your own gears, but let's be honest, it's not likely that this will be a popular option. On the road, the Genesis is nice and quiet, maybe a little too quiet. While other manufacturers have that burble tune where when you're in sport mode and you lift off the throttle, you get this pops and bangs out of the exhaust. The Genesis, while it does have a little bit of that exhaust note on the outside, inside you really don't hear much at all. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that the G70, it's a more mature option of all the sports sedans that you can get. What's nice is the steering feel itself. It's spot on. Turn in is sharp and it's very, very agile. The wheelbase itself is not so long that it causes any problems or anything like that. Same with the suspension. Right now I have it on comfort mode, so it's actually really comfortable. But I can put it onto sport to just firm up that ride a little bit or set it to custom to really, well, suit your needs. Put the G70 into sport mode and you're definitely going to feel the power. 365 horse is definitely no slouch. Accelerating off the line, it's nice and quick. Sure, it's not as fast as the C43 or the BMW M340, but it's more than adequate. But since we're in 2020, there's a lot more than just handling and how it feels. A lot of it is active safety features, and a lot of buyers are looking for that. And Genesis have implemented a lot of that inside this vehicle. There's radar-guided cruise, there's lane keep assist, blind spot warning, and a really good 360 camera. It does keep you and your occupants nice and safe. What I have found is on the highway, while having that adaptive cruise on, the car was able to keep its lane and the distance really well. Unlike some other vehicles where it kind of bounces within the lane, the Genesis doesn't have any of that problem. It's able to, well, keep me nice and centered with absolutely no fuss. Back in 2019, Motor Trend named it Car of the Year, and it was also 10 Best from Car and Driver, and Auto Trader also named it 2019 Best New Car. And that's something that it should trigger a lot of people to take a look at this vehicle. Overall, the Genesis G70 is a great premium sports sedan. It truly is. Priced below its German rivals, it makes a fair point for itself. However, most people that are buying in this specific segment aren't looking to save a buck, but rather that badge. And that's why it's hard for Genesis to make its mark. In the US, Genesis has managed to sell 12,310 cars in 2018 and 2019, while BMW sold a massive 47,827 in 2019 alone. But what those numbers don't tell you is BMW sold more than 100,000 3 Series in 2014 alone. So it is on the decline. So we'll have to wait and see in the end of 2020 exactly how those numbers compare and how much of that pie Genesis managed to steal. Speaking of numbers though, here's something else to consider: the price. At 58,000 Canadian dollars fully loaded, it's $2,000 less than the base C43. If you load the C43 up with options, it can hit easily over $72,000. And if we compare it with the BMW M340, it's $7,000 less than the base trim. And with some options, that's well over $75,000. So, for the buyer who's looking at this financially, the G70 is actually a really good choice. But better yet, the Kia Stinger, because it has the same engine, a little bit more space in the back seat, and double the luggage capacity, and all that at $6,000 less. At the end, it comes down to you. What do you like? What do you want? Do you want that badge on the front? Because if you do, you're not going to get anything other than a BMW, a Mercedes. But if you're looking at this financially, there's no doubt that this is a really good buy. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what your thoughts are on the G70 in the comment section down below, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day.